sponsored by Kimafun. Have your voice heard without the hassle of wires today by visiting bit.ly/KimafunMic. In today's video, we're going to be unboxing the Kimafun 2.4 GHz wireless microphone. This microphone comes with a lavalier mic, a handheld mic, and also comes with a transceiver and a responder. This microphone was sent to me by Kimafun, however, they are not paying me to say any of this stuff on the review today. Let's get started. Now, if you want to pick up this microphone, it retails for $80 on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And if you haven't checked out some of my other videos here on my channel regarding microphones, definitely go check those out. I'll leave a link in a video card up above as well. So we're going to be first off unboxing the Kimafun microphone today. Then I'm going to walk you through how to set it up with a DSLR camera, which is what I am recording on right now in front of me here. And then we'll be doing some audio comparison tests and also doing a range test to see how far back or how far away from the microphone can we get without it getting interference or distortion. Now, Kimafun is sponsoring this video and did send me this microphone. However, they are not paying me to say, oh, this is a great microphone or oh, it's a horrible microphone. These are totally my own opinions on this microphone as I am testing it out, unboxing it, and setting it up. So I want that to be very clear that this is not in any way like endorsed by Kimafun. It is a video that I'm basically just creating here on my channel and doing a complete review on. So with that, let's get to unboxing the Kimafun microphone. So you'll notice on the front of the box here, it just says Kimafun 2.4 GHz, rechargeable and reusable. So it does have a reusable, rechargeable battery pack in it. I believe it does charge micro USB, automatic matching, so it matches the pairs, and then it has wide compatibility. For an additional $20, you can actually buy a second transponder, meaning you can actually have two people hooked up to the same receiver for this microphone, meaning you could have a person standing next to me on one wireless lavalier mic and another person across the room. It would all go into one receiver on your camera, so it's pretty handy there. Again, that runs $99.99. This one runs $79.99. Again, if you want it to get one yourself, I'll leave a link down below. So flipping this over to the back, and you can see pretty simple box design. I'm just going to open it up here and go through the pieces. So just two pieces of tape holding the back of this on. There we go. I'll flip this over and take off the top of the box, set it off over there. So first off, we have a instruction manual here. This shows us how to use the Kimafun microphone. It shows us all the different configurations that you can have set up on this microphone. It does look like this is all in English, so that's handy. Just one language here. Now, setting the instruction book aside, we get a little thank you for your purchase card on the back. It's in Chinese. And then we get to what's inside the box here. This is our transponder. So this is our wireless transponder. This is where we're going to hook our microphone in. Again, it comes with a lavalier mic and a handheld mic, so you can just hold it like this. And I'll get to showing that in just a minute. And then down here, you can see the different channels. We can select the different channel by pressing the button here on the microphone. This is the antenna, and then it has a nice little handy clip here on the back to clip it to your belt or put it in your pocket, clip it to something so it won't fall out. Setting that aside, moving on to the next part of the puzzle here is the receiver. So this, again, you want to make sure that the channels match here. This is the antenna, and it has an on and off switch over here, so that's nice. It won't waste your battery, and I believe this one also had an on and off switch on it, the transponder over here, and it has a volume up and down button as well, I should mention. So on the receiver itself, we have the on off button on the front, and then up here are channels. And then over on the side here, we have, it looks like USB-C charging actually. And then flipping over to the back, we have a cold shoe mount here. So this is where you can mount it on top of like a camera, and you can get better signal that way because the antenna is going to be facing most likely your subject. So you'll probably get better range that way, one would assume. And then on the back here, we have our 3.5mm jack, and this is what you plug into your camera itself. Now you could use a cord, and we'll get to that in just a minute here. Moving over here, we have a couple extra windscreens. We have a a 1/4 inch adapter here from 3.5 millimeter to 1/4 inch adapter in case we were plugging this into a different type of sound system. And then in this little bag here, I think this is going to be our handheld. Yeah, this is our handheld mic here. So this one here actually can plug into, I'll throw that in the box. This actually here will plug nicely into our receiver, and you can see here now we have a microphone that we can actually do handheld on. So we can actually take this in the field, we could talk like this, as opposed to having a lav mic, and I'll show you that in a second. It looks like here there's actually a tightening function, which is actually very nice. So that will make it to ensure that this microphone can't be pulled out when you are using it out in the world or wherever you're at. So I'm gonna unscrew the handheld mic here, and then we're gonna get to looking at the lav mic. That's gonna kind of plug in the same way. This is the lav mic. A lav mic stands for lavalier mic, and lavalier mic basically just means it will clip on to like your shirt or something. So there's a handy dandy clip here, and you can basically attach it onto your clothing like this and run the cord down like your shirt, for instance, and you're able to then plug this end into the transponder here, and then again tighten that down there so that connection gets locked in. That's a really nice feature, because I know there's lots of wireless mics out there that just pull in and out of the slot, and that, you know, if you have it in your pocket or if you're running or doing something, that could fall out and break your connection effectively. So that's very nice that they included that screw functionality on both of these microphones, both the lavalier and the handheld microphone. And then continuing on down here, these are phone adapters actually. So one interesting thing to note about this microphone is you can't actually just plug the receiver itself into like a phone, for instance, if you want to, because this is this has two kind of black bar lines on it, so to say. I'm not sure of the technical term. If you know that, just leave it in the comments down below. But basically, what these other adapters do is they allow you to plug this microphone into an iPhone. So this is a splitter here, and this end here, you'll see that this has 3, and that's what like a phone would use, not the standard two black lines like on the receiver here. And then it looks like have an extender here. So this is what I was kind of talking about before. So if we want to, say, plug this in to our receiver, put the cold shoe on top of our camera, and then plug this into like the side of our camera, we could do that instead of having to just plug this directly into the side of the camera. So that's probably what I'll actually wind up doing here for this setup. And then finally, in the bottom of the box here, we have, it looks to be our charging cable. I'll take a look at this actually. This looks like this is actually, oh, that's very interesting. This is actually a dual charging cable, and this is actually a pretty nice cable actually. It's a braided cable, surprisingly. On the end we have 2 USB adapters here, and this is just a USB type A. We have 2 USB-C adapters here at the end, and this is, I believe, so we can charge both our receiver and our transponder, it looks to be, at the same time via USB and the rechargeable batteries. So that's super nice because, again, you're not going to have to constantly change batteries in these or recharge like physical batteries. You just plug it into a USB. You can charge both of these at once off of one cable. It's super nice. So now that I got the Kimafun microphone unboxed and showed you what is in the box itself, let's get to setting it up with a camera now. I'll show you how to do that, and then we'll go through some audio tests. Okay, so now I switched my camera setup a little bit. You'll notice here in front of me now, I put my Sony a6100 camera. That before was the top-down shot in my video here on the channel. My Nikon is actually recording the video clip that you're watching right now. And then I have my iPhone here off screen over here that's actually recording the a6100, so it'll show you guys how to hook up the Kimafun wireless microphone to a camera such as an a6100 or a bigger DSLR model. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to grab the receiver, and I'm going to grab this cable here and we're going to actually put it onto the a6100. So this is the extender cable, so I don't have to plug directly into the side of the camera. I can use the cold shoe mount on the bottom. So I plug that cable in there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attach the cold shoe to the top of the A6100. So after you tighten the cold shoe mount down on top of your DSLR camera, you're going to come over here and plug in the 3.5mm cable into the side of your camera or the bottom of your camera, depending upon where your microphone jack is at. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the transmitter, and for this first test, I'm actually going to use the lavalier mic. So I'm actually going to just clip this on the front of my shirt here, and we're going to run a mic test. So I'm going to clip that right there in front of my shirt, and then we're going to plug this into the transponder, and we're going to tighten that down like that. So now I got my lavalier microphone hooked up. I'm going to actually just clip this onto my shorts down here like that. That way I don't have to hold on to it, so I can show you the next step. Now what we're going to do is go back over to our A6100 or whatever DSLR or camera you have the receiver hooked up to, and we're going to go over on the side here and flip the switch to on. Once you switch the receiver on, you'll notice that the channel 2 is blinking. It's trying to find the signal to the transponder, and then underneath here you'll see the battery indication level. There's 4 like kind of LED lights that signify how well charged your receiver and transponder are. That's also on the transponder, which is right here. So what I'm going to do now with that is I'm going to turn that on. And an important note here is you want to make sure these are charged before you go using the microphone. That way it'll give the best signal possible. So I'm going to switch that on, and you'll now see that the channel 2 light is lit up over here, as well as this one here is solid now as well. Now, for some reason, when I turned the microphone on itself on my A6100, I was in a recording session, so it actually didn't switch the microphone itself over to the Kimafun microphone. It still relied on the internal A6100 microphone, unfortunately. So what I did is I stopped that recording, and now I'm going to start recording again. And this is kind of going to be our first sound test with the Kimafun wireless microphone. And now you'll notice this is the Kimafun wireless microphone. I'm not sure exactly how it sounds, obviously, because I can see the audio levels here on my camera that are registering much higher than they were before. So I'm looking at the audio peaking on here, and to me, this looks like it's getting a little bit too much volume. So the nice thing with the Kimafun wireless microphone is that they actually have built-in volume buttons here on the side of the transmitter. So the cool thing here is we can actually raise or lower the volume. So each time you press the minus or plus button, it either lowers or increases the decibels for the audio that's being sent over to the transmitter by +2 or -2 decibels. So what I'm going to do is, my first test here, I am going to press that a couple of times, and you'll notice now that my voice should be a little bit quieter. And that's actually a really good thing, because honestly, my voice was over peaking. It was going over 0 decibels before from the lavalier mic. So I'm not exactly sure how well this microphone really sounds right now, as I mentioned before, but it's going to be very interesting in post to see the audio quality on this and see how well it sounds compared to my microphone that I normally use behind my Nikon Z6 here, which is a Rode Mini. It's a mini microphone, and it's just a shotgun microphone that I've been using for probably 7 or 8 months now. I actually bought that off of Facebook Marketplace for like 30 bucks. But it is going to be nice to have a wireless microphone, especially if this one really works well. So I'm looking forward to doing some tests and testing it out here. Now, I imagine that the signal sounds pretty good right now because I am only about a foot away. The receiver and transmitter are only about a foot away from each other. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually put this down in my pocket and see if there's any sort of difference with the signal. I'm still seeing green bars over here for audio, so that's a really good sign. So I'm completely 100% wireless now, which is so freeing. It's so awesome. I can literally walk over here off camera, and I shouldn't have any sort of audio degradation or anything like that. what I'm gonna do now for another audio test with the lavalier microphone is I'm actually going to walk out of my studio and I'm gonna keep talking. There's multiple walls between me and different floors in our house and everything like that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go to a few different places, say where I'm at in the house and about how far away I am from the microphone itself. So let's get to that. My first test is I'm just gonna walk outside of the room into the hallway that is behind the camera that you're seeing this being recorded on right now and see how that sounds. So I am now behind the camera that you're being recorded on. So hopefully my voice is sounding really good still. I'm not 100% sure, but let's keep going, right? So right now I'd say about 8 feet away from the transmitter on the other side. I'm gonna slowly start walking away from my camera now and see when that signal starts to cut out. Right now, I'm actually in my living room in my house. This is probably about 25 feet away from that receiver. How does it sound? Does it sound good? Am I breaking up? I'm going through about 4 walls right now. I'm gonna walk into my kitchen actually. Here I'm probably about 40 feet away from that receiver. Now I'm starting to come back towards my camera and I'm actually going to go outside of our house for a minute here. So I'm going to go out in my front yard and I'm going to talk just out here on our front porch. I'm actually outside. I'm about 15-20 feet away from my camera right now, but I just am going through a window, so I imagine this does sound probably pretty good still. Okay, so for a range test on this too, I want to test floors in a house. So I'm gonna try going up the stairs in my house and see how this sounds. I'm gonna try going right above my studio and then also to the complete opposite corner of my house. This room right now that I am in is directly above where our studio is at. So we only are going through 1 floor. So I would imagine it would probably be working fine, but then again, it might not be. That signal could be blocked. So how does that sound now? I'll be interested to see this again in post to see how well it sounds. So I am walking across our house now. I'm on the 2nd floor again, and I'm actually walking all the way to the opposite corner of our house on the 2nd floor. Our studio is on the 1st floor in our house. So basically I am right now in our house approximately the furthest distance away I could possibly be while remaining inside of our house from our studio. I'm at the complete opposite corner on a different floor. So how does this sound? Is it breaking up? I have no clue, but I'll be again interested to see how far can the signal actually go on this thing. So I have re-entered the studio now. You'll see me come into camera angle here shortly. Hey, here I am again. So it looks like our transmitter is still sending the signal over to our receiver on our camera. So that's a good sign. If it did cut out, it reconnected. That's good. So now that I've done a range test, some audio testing with the lavalier microphone, I really want to now test out the handheld microphone on this and see how does this microphone sound compared to the lavalier mic. Is it as good? Is it not? Let's find out. Okay, so now I'm going to switch over on my camera here to the handheld microphone and kind of pick up and see how this sounds. So right now my audio levels on my camera here are really peaking. So again, I'm going to turn down the volume on this. Again, you just do that by clicking the volume button on the side here. And now that looks quite a bit better for the audio level. Actually, I'm going to go one more just to hopefully tone that down a little. That looks a lot better now. So how does this one sound now? The handheld microphone versus the lavalier microphone. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think the difference between these two. Let me know which one you think sounds better. But this is what the handheld microphone sounds like on the Kimafun wireless microphone. Now what I'm going to do a range test with this again. I'm not going to go all the way back upstairs, but I'm just going to walk behind the camera and probably walk kind of over to my kitchen again and see is there any difference here. So I'm going to do that now. Now about 20 feet away from the camera. And how is that sounding? Is it sounding good still, or is that signal breaking up? So now I'm going to walk over here. There's multiple walls again between here and the studio. Probably about 40 to 45 feet away from the receiver at this point in time, and I am in my kitchen. So how does this sound? Let me know. I'm going to start walking back to the studio now. So now I'm back. Hi, everyone. It looks like the handheld microphone did stay connected or reconnected at some point during that, so that's a good sign. So far, from what I can tell, the signal has seemed to hold up well. I'm not sure on the audio quality yet, obviously, because I haven't listened to it. But I will give you some feedback now after I'm editing this in post and let you know kind of some of my thoughts. One last thing before I get into some of my analysis on this microphone and thoughts on it, I want to say a big shout out to Kimafun. Again, thank you so much for sponsoring this video here on my channel. I really do appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys and get a product to do a review here on my channel. And again, provide good information and insight to you tech people out there that are looking for an inexpensive wireless microphone. So again, thank you so much to Kimafun for sponsoring the video here on the channel today. Now I want to talk about some pros and cons of the Kimafun microphone. First off, starting with some of the pros, I overall thought this microphone had really great range on it. I was able to take it across my house all the way upstairs to the furthest corner of my house, which is probably about 60 feet away, through multiple walls, and there was literally no whatsoever degradation or signal loss. Another great thing about the Kimafun wireless microphone is it seemed to have really great mids and treble, meaning it had really good midtones and upper tones when it came to voiceovers. The battery life also seemed really good, considering I had it on for about a 30-minute time stretch in total, and the battery did not go down at all whatsoever. I also really enjoyed the feature that you could attach either a lavalier or the handheld microphone onto the transmitter itself. It made it really easy. You could just literally screw it on to the transmitter. That way, if you put the transmitter in your pocket, it, for instance, wouldn't fall out, meaning the microphone wouldn't fall out of the 3.5mm jack. And the last thing on the Kimafun microphone I want to point out is that it had easy to use volume adjustments on the side. This is really nice to be able to adjust the audio levels either plus or minus 2 decibels at a time. Now let's move on to talking about some cons on the Kimafun wireless microphone. First, the lower or bass tones in the wireless microphone itself seemed to be not really there, meaning it really didn't provide a lot of good bass. It was mainly focused on the mids and trebles for volume. Another thing I didn't like about the microphone itself was the fact that the volume levels seemed to really fluctuate, especially if you didn't talk for a while and then started talking again. The microphone had a hard time adjusting to your audio levels. Another weird thing that happened was there was a really high-pitched audio buzzing noise that came from the handheld mic when I attached it to the transmitter. Not exactly sure why this happened. It could just be a grounding issue. Maybe it was just an issue with the handheld mic itself. And finally, the last con I saw of the Kimafun wireless microphone was that the cord on the lavalier mic made a lot of noise into the microphone. Now, this probably was user error on my part because, again, I didn't run the cord down my shirt like I probably should have. It just kind of dangled there on the front of my shirt. And I believe that kind of caused some issues with the audio, so I'm not really sure there, but I think really that was mainly focused on me. Overall, the audio quality on the lavalier mic seemed pretty good, again, except for the bass. So my overall impressions of the Kimafun wireless microphone is, yeah, if you want a fairly budget-friendly microphone with good range, good mids and trebles, and good battery life, and some really nice features, definitely go for this microphone. If you're more of an audio professional, I would definitely probably not recommend this microphone just because I did experience some issues with fluctuating volume levels, the bass not being very good, and again, some high-pitched audio issues with the handheld microphone. And that's the Kimafun 2.4 gigahertz wireless microphone. If you enjoyed the video today, you know what to do. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, definitely consider subscribing for more great tech videos coming your way really soon. And again, hit the bell if you want to be notified when I post my latest videos here on Love Tech. If you want to buy the Kimafun wireless microphone, again, I'll leave a link down in the description. You can go buy the one with the 2 transponders or the 1 transponder like the one that I was sent by Kimafun. And again, I'm also on social media at Love Tech for You, both on Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't followed me over there, definitely consider doing that as well for more great tech tips and tech stuff coming your way. And if you want to get a behind the scenes look at Love Tech, definitely consider heading over to my Patreon page today. It's patreon.com/lovetech. to see exclusive behind the scenes looks at what I do here on my channel. Thanks again so much guys for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. Didn't get enough LoveTech today? Then head over to patreon.com/LoveTech to see exclusive behind the scenes videos, photos, and projects that I'm working on. Now enjoy some bonus material from today's episode. So starting off here, this is our receiver.